My name is Tim Turzin with LKCS. I'm the Senior Sales Representative here. And we're going to talk about easy reporting you'll savor with DataFlex. For those of you who are not familiar with LKCS, I always like to show this slide, just show that LKCS does a lot more than just, one or two things. We're a full service marketing company. We've been in business since 1961. We've dealt with financial institutions, the entire time. So we have a wide variety of products and services, that'll help you across the board rather than just, one or two things. So if there's anything else up there that interests you, feel free to reach out to me at the end or, another sales rep here, and we'll definitely get you information on anything you need there. So what we're going to talk about today, is an MCIF type alternative functionality, and really what the big key is nowadays is data. All right. Everything you do today, all the marketing, operation decisions, everything you're doing should be based on data. Our system allows you to have fast and easy access to that data, which is critical. One of the fun questions we like to tell our clients is they say, oh, our IT staff can get this stuff for me. Well, how long does it take them? Because if you think you can do it and you don't, then you can't. So the ability to get that data quickly and easily is very critical to make these decisions, in a real-time setting. The other big thing is the ability to understand what the data is telling you. All right, that's the difference between success and failure. We've built these systems very, very simple, easy to use. You don't have to be, a programmer or some brainiac to run this type of stuff. It's simple to read, simple to use. You really get the most out of it to make those decisions as you go forward. With that said, if you're not a techie, it's no problem. You don't have to be, a rocket scientist, as I said. You don't need to have SQL or database training or any of that type of stuff. Some of these systems, you need to really know a lot of different types of programming almost to use them. We've developed DataFlex, with the normal user in mind, with those marketing people and the business folks that don't know how to get in there and do the SQL or database type stuff. They just want to do the drag and drop, nice and easy type stuff, and the ability to perform multi-dimensional analysis. So to be able to look at several different areas at once and easily identify and respond to those opportunities or challenges that you find. The reporting that we're going to be talking about and showing you today, it's not just your typical data tables and graphs. These are very, very interactive reports and dashboards, and it gives you instant access to the information you need to make those decisions. You're able to drill down as far as you need to go, all the way to that customer or member level. Everything, as I said, is drag and drop. Functionality, they're easy identifiable elements and where you want to drop them. We also come up with video tutorials regularly on how to operate and use the system. So if you're having troubles, you can always do a short video tutorial to kind of give you a refresher or update on how to use the system. There's two separate parts of DataFlex that I'll kind of be showing you today. One is the DataFlex dashboards, which are perfect for snapshots and historical trends. I like to say this is the 1,000-foot view. When you kind of overlook at the whole thing, you can kind of start to see where some things might be happening, and then you can start drilling in and getting deeper within the reports. But it's a combination of tables, graphics, gauges, dials, and I'll show you several pieces, and you'll see, how much information is really in these. But they're self-service. You determine what you want to see and how you want to see it. Makes it really easy. The other plus is they are deliverable via web browser or via email on smartphone. You can embed these things into Office documents. So it makes it easy if you're doing reports for the president or maybe doing board reports and want to include some of the stuff. Makes it really easy to use that, those nice pretty graphs and colors that they like to see. On the other side is the reporting. And it's highly graphical business reports to multi-page data tables, and it's available, right now. They are all fully interactive, so you can rearrange and reformat the data and drag and drop and sort rows and columns and add, remove, and anything you want you can do within this. So it's almost like doing an Excel spreadsheet on steroids. It's above and beyond anything you've probably ever kind of dreamed of. Very, very easy to use. There's all different types of parameter and prompts to ensure that you're getting the data you want to look at, to select what account types, demographics, and we'll go over all this, to kind of look into it. One of the biggest things that I like about the system is the ability to make mistakes. And you don't normally hear people say to make mistakes, but I've heard so many people say when they're trying to build these types of reports in other systems, they start going and one small error and they have to start all the way over from scratch. And our system doesn't do that. So you can make an error and go back just one step instead of going all the way to the beginning. So it makes it really, really easy to use and view. You can save any report layouts. So there's two different sections in the system, and I'll show you that, but anything you want, you can save for yourself. As soon as you bring it up down the road to look at, it's going to be exactly the way you left it with the data you had on there. And again, no programming is required by you. We handle all the data, import, we put everything in, you're able to just drag and drop and use it. So with that, we're actually going to jump into a live demonstration because I can talk about DataFlex, but the power is actually seeing what it can do instead of talking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. This is an online access. You would have to VPN into LKCS, then you're able to access it via web browser. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Once I log in, you're going to see that it's really set up very easy to use. So there's several different areas. I'm going to focus on just one or two areas today, but the two main areas are your shared reporting area and the my reporting area. So just like your desktop computer, things are categorized into different folders, and as you go, we'll see. So I'm going to jump into the shared section. Right into the shared section, you're going to see three different areas. Two areas I want to talk about really quick is some DataFlex marketing campaigns. This is a link to a PDF that has 60 or so campaigns just to kind of get your head wrapped around what you can do within the system, and it'll help you identify areas that you might want to target. So that's right there out of the box. You can use it at any time. And then those training videos that I talked about. So, going into these training videos, you can see that it's categorized. It's nice and easy to find out. So if I need more information on how to organize and stuff like that, I can go to that, and you can see we have several videos. And we're typically adding one or two a week here. So coming back in, I'm going to go into those shared reports again. And looking at all the different folders, you can see how we have it categorized so it's easy to find what you are looking for. So we have reports on your savings side. We have reports on your loan side. We have new reports. So anything we're coming up with that's new is going to be in here, so it's easy to find. It'll also be in the other corresponding reports. We have demographic reports. There's a lot of different ways you can sort this data, but it's really easy to find. So when I click in, I'm going to pick on the loans category here. You're going to see two different types of icons. These are the two separate sides of DataFlex. These, colorful icons, and you'll see it has a little flash symbol there. Those are the dashboards. Those are the graphical, graph tables that you can move around, and that's that 1,000-foot overview. The not so colorful icons, those are your reports where you can really drill down and start moving and maneuvering the data to really get in to some interesting pieces and find those hot spots at your institution. So coming back out, everything in the shared side is available to you from day one. There's about 120, 130 or so dashboards and reports right off the bat are available to you. The My Reports section is where you're able to start saving your own stuff or creating customized reports. So clicking into there, you'll see that I have several folders set up. It's the same thing, and you can create folders and subfolders and keep going. Anything I would create for myself or take one of those shared documents and save over the top, I'd be able to save here to view the way I wanted to view it at any time. So I'm going to kind of go back here. I'm going to pick on loans again. And we're going to show what some of those dashboards look like and what you can do. So I'm going to start with just a really simple dashboard, the loan portfolio. And you can see this data is pulling up, almost instantaneously. It's just pulling that data in, and you can see we have several different elements going on in this report. So on the left side, we have a speed dial with our loan snapshot, showing us, a current balance and the original balance of those loans if we would have taken all the loans out, today as brand new. On the right side, we can see the outstanding loans by category. So looking at our credit cards, we have one credit card here. We can see how many accounts, what the balance of those accounts are. I can look at different categories. So if I want to look at my home loans, I can see all my different home loan products. Again, the number of accounts and the current balances of those accounts. I can sort these easily. So if I want to see which account, or which accounts have the greatest amount, I can see that our home equity product, has the highest amount. As far as balance goes, we can see that our 15-year fixed rate mortgage, and we can easily sort that, has the highest balance. At the bottom here are our dates, or the new loans by date, so we can actually see those spikes. If we're doing different campaigns and we're doing a certain type of special, are we getting that spike in loan activity? So going into this, I'm actually going to drill down here and look at a smaller date range. And you can see these peaks and valleys. So if we were doing a campaign, hopefully there's more peaks here than there are valleys. Obviously the dips you're going to see, on the weekends, but for the most part, every week you should see decent spikes. And with that, you can change those date ranges with the slider and move it, to wherever date range it is that you want to specifically look into. And again, these are that 1,000-foot view. When you want to get into it, you're going to go to more reporting to kind of dive in and look. All right, I'm going to come back out. We're going to go into another type of dashboard. It gives you a little bit more information. The first one is pretty generic, give you a really big overview. I want to start looking maybe a little bit more at my loan balances and those trends by month. Okay, so I'm looking, at a 12-month, history here. I'm looking at my overall balance. It seemed, to start growing here. And I can look at those category balances. So I can see my biggest category is my home loans. That seems to be growing pretty good. My vehicle loans are staying, fairly steady. My credit cards seem to have dropped a little bit in the middle of the year, but came back up towards the end. So you can start seeing, a little bit of more information. Going to the actual products, you can see, based off each individual piece. So if I want to look at my vehicle loans, I can see that my used vehicle loans is the majority of, those balances. The new vehicles are second, and some indirect stuff, at the bottom. At the bottom, you'll see that I can start sorting this data even further if I want to look further into those vehicle loans. What are my new vehicle loans doing? How is it trending, by graph? Instead of looking, at the graph, I want to look at a report, model, exact balances and the exact number of loan accounts each month. I'm going to pull up a dashboard now that gets into a little bit of more marketing data, something you can actually use. So I'm going to go to a report or a dashboard for loans coming due. So in here I can see different loans coming due. I've got different selects across the top. So right now I can look at 1 month out. I can just click over, look at 3 months out, 6 months out, 12 months out. So on the 6 month out here, I'm looking overall. I have about 116 loan accounts coming due. The balance of those accounts right now is, almost $200,000. So we want to retain some of this business so I can start looking into this a little bit further maybe. I can see that I have, just a couple share secured loans. I have 27 unsecured loans and 86 vehicle loans. So my biggest part here is I have a bunch of vehicle loans coming up that people are about to pay off. Maybe it's time to get in touch with these people, and let them know, thanks for paying off that vehicle loan. Here's what our current rates are. Here's how we can help you on that next purchase. So underneath, we can see, what 86 vehicle loans are there. Dates, original amounts, balances, payments, payments remaining, all that information is available to you. So I want to know what these people are and what they're doing. The nice part about these dashboards, they are all linked to the reports that you can really start digging in and getting some more information. So just by clicking on any of those dashboards, you're actually going to go get taken to the report that drives that. So now I can start seeing that my loan's coming due, within that 6 months, and looking, I can see who those people are, maybe get some, make a mailing list out of this, do email, whatever it might be, to kind of dig a little bit further down. So I'm going to back up a second now. I just wanted to quickly show you this report, but it shows a lot of data. So I'm going to go to something, rather easy, and then we're going to start kind of building something so you can see how easy it is to use. So I've created just a simple demo report, and right off the bat, I don't have much information on it. I only have, our loan product categories, what type of loans we have on the books. No other information is on it, so I can start building and manipulating this report the way I want to get the information I want. So very easily I can put, that person's information on, so I want to see who has these accounts, so I'm going to bring their name in. So now I have that person's name and what, loans that they do have. Maybe as I build this out, I want to look for people that have, an email address. We're doing an email campaign for these people. I can drag that, drop it onto the report. Once it's on, I can move this stuff. Drag and drop friendly. So you see that yellow line, it's letting me know where I can place this information. And I can move it back. If I want to start knowing what maybe the current loan balance of these people's accounts, I can bring that onto the report here and drop it in. So now I start seeing even more information. I want to know the income level of these people. Very easy to drag and drop what you have or what you want to see on that report. Okay, but as you can see, as I started adding more and more data, I went from 4 or 5 rows. Now I have over 12,000 rows of data. So I want to start looking at it a little bit easier, starting to manipulate this, so it makes sense. It's easier for me to read. A couple ways to do that. And one, we have our page by access, which I'm going to turn on here, and I'm just going to drag and drop my loan product category right up into this page by bar. So now I'm telling the system I only want to look at people with credit cards. So I went from 12,000 rows of data to a little over 5,000. Makes it a little bit easier to read. Now I'm going to start adding just some simple conditions to kind of drill down a little bit further on this. Okay, I'm going to add a condition, and I'm going to go do a condition off their current loan balance. Okay, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to find current loan balance, and I'm going to say that anybody that has a loan balance equal to 0, I want to see. Maybe I want to send an email letting them know the benefits of the card. They're obviously not using it. Let's try to get them and entice them to use that card. So if they have a balance of 0, I want to know about it. So I went from a little over 5,000 accounts to about 1,200 accounts. I want to add some more conditions. I'm going to add another condition on here. And maybe I want to look, and I only want to target the people that have, say, an income of over $50,000. So I'm going to say they need to have, $50,000 over in income, and I'm going to apply that into the system. So I dropped it to 789. If I want them to use my card, I don't want them to be delinquent on anything. So I'm going to go ahead and add another condition saying that their days delinquent equals 0. So they are not currently delinquent on any payments. We're going to apply that into the system. It's actually pretty good. It stayed the same. So nobody was delinquent on what I looked at. That's pretty rare, but that's a good thing not to have those delinquent accounts. All right, so you can see how easy it is to start putting this information in. So now I have my list of 789 people that have a credit card, but they aren't using it. That current balance is 0, and we want to entice them to start using it. I have their email address, but not everybody has, an email there. So I can go ahead and filter, and I can add a condition that their email address, and I'm going to qualify that it is not empty or not null. So it dropped it to 702. So we dropped out, 80 or so people that didn't have an email address, and I only have my people with an email address. To make it a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and add branch information on here now. So I'm going to take my branch, I'm going to bring it into that page by bar again. So now my downtown branch, we have 163 people. So we can do, a specific email for that branch. My second branch had 44 people. So you can split it up, by those types of things. Split it out, give it to those, branch managers or whatever it is. If you want to make phone calls, you can easily add, that information to make those phone calls and split it out and stuff like that. So that was one way to kind of sort a report and filter some data. So I'm going to start, going a little bit further now. So I'm actually going to clear this information out just by drag and dropping. I'm going to take the stuff right back off the report. And I should keep my loan product category in here. So now maybe I want to see, I'm looking at loan data, but I want to see who might have a checking account and a specific loan. All right, so I want to look at the people that have a checking account and a secondary loan. So I'm going to start kind of manipulating this data to show me what I want. So again, they have this loan, but I'm going to add a filter to the system to only look at people with checking accounts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that filter. So I can see that I've already pre-created a report with only people with checking accounts into this filter. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So now I'm only looking at people that have a checking account and a specific loan. Give it a second to run here. The hamsters are a little slow today. All right. So now I'm going to start adding some information again. So I'm going to bring back, that person's name. So now I'm seeing, when I first did this, I had, 12,000 and some, records. Just easily by adding, the checking account, I can see that I only have 478 people really that have a checking account and another loan. So that tells me something that my penetration on both sides, isn't as good as it should be. So I can start looking at more information. So with that, I want to see anybody that has a checking account, and maybe I only want to look at checking account and say, my credit cards. So I have 200 people with a checking account and a credit card. I only have 118 people with the checking account and a home loan, 62 with checking and vehicle. So you can see that I'm not cross-selling. So we can start looking and manipulating data to kind of say, hey, we need to start looking at this different and see the people that have a checking account that don't have these types of things. Okay, so anybody in that checking data that I want to see, I can reverse it, and say, hey, I want to look at, they have a checking account. Sorry, I'm going to select, and I'm going to say that they. That's right. So they don't have a vehicle loan. I'm going to bring that back down. So these are the people, checking account, not a vehicle loan, with another type of loan, and I can start kind of manipulating that and playing with it again. I can add the rest of those conditions as I want to, so I can say, hey, if we're going to go out and look at these things, we're going to add, our delinquency counter that it's, that it's at 0. And all those other types of things that I was showing you, we still have access to, we can still drag those emails on or anything else to start getting that data that I really, really want to see going forward. And we can add as many filters as we want to look at, I want a checking and an auto loan and not a home loan, or whatever combination you want. We can really, start slicing and dicing that data to really get in and find what it is that you're looking for. So once we build that report that we want, it's good data, it's going to work for us, you can go ahead and save that. So saving this information, I'm going to go ahead and save it as, and we're going to say this is our checking report without auto. So they have a checking and not an auto. That way, next time I come into the system, a month down the road, I want to run this report monthly, I can come back in, look at it again. It's going to give me the exact same data, updated with the latest and greatest information that we're pulling for you at all times. Give it a second to pull up here. Some other ways you can do things with data is easy export functions. So you need to get it out, get it to your mail house, get it to the branch managers, whatever it is that you need. You're able to do that rather easily with a couple different export options. You can export to PDF, not really helping you that much in this instance, but if I wanted to export this information into an Excel document, I can. So I just click that export button, customize my settings, hit export, and it's going to pull all that information I just found out into an Excel file. I can then send on to my mail house, give to my team, split it up however I need to kind of get that campaign out the door. All right. So again, there are hundreds and hundreds of reports and dashboards and different things to look at, and you can see, just glancing at a couple of these things, it's really, really good information. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into each one of them and go through them all today, but you can see the power of those types of reports and dashboards to really see, what it is you need to know about your institution to help your marketing and business decisions going forward. Whoop. So the end result with DataFlex, this is going to enable you to do that customer analysis, so really get a complete picture of that relationship that they have with you. What products and services are they using you for? What are the majority of people using you for? Again, like a report I was looking at, I can view people that have certain types of products and services. If they have these two, how likely are they to get that third one? And try to find that relationship between, what it takes to go from, just a single service or maybe one or two services up to 3, 4, or 5 to make them your primary institution. How can we get those people switched over? That marketing analysis allows you to identify all those cross-sell opportunities by really digging into that information and creating those distinct segments based around those different product types and balances and everything else that you have available at your fingertips now. You have promotional analysis. So I got into some of the demographic side of things, not too much, but coupled with that, and you can really get that customer relationship data to optimize, all the different promotions. You are also able to track the success of campaigns out of the system. So as I was building those reports, I can, as I saved one, if we do the campaign, so we send out a mailer or send out an email, I can look at that the next month and say, hey, who acted on that? So for instance, that credit card campaign, those people that had 0 balances, in the next month or next 6 weeks down the road or whatever it might be, I can look at that again and say, hey, how many people on this list now have a balance? And it'll kind of show me how effective that campaign was. Branch analysis, so comparing that account penetration across all your different branches, the marketing campaign success, new account acquisition, whatever it is, I was showing you with the different branch level, how you can kind of play games with that and see which branches are outperforming others or maybe find out why one branch is more successful than the others. What are they doing? So again, out of the box with DataFlex, you have over 120 dashboards and reports ready to use and customize right away. The day you get access, you have all of that at your fingertips. You have over 60 targeted marketing campaigns ready to launch and track. That's that initial report I showed you early on. LKCS is always here to help you. One of the things I always like to say is we are a marketing company. We're not a data company. Okay, so a lot of companies that sell you systems that do stuff like this, they sell you the system and they move on to the next person. I'm here to sell you the system, but I want you to use it. I want you to use it for marketing. I want to help your marketing team come up with those successful campaigns and really use the system to benefit yourself. So I'm not selling you a service and then moving on. We're staying here to assist you with anything you need, giving you our expertise and our knowledge and ideas for what we see other people doing. The session is secure, obviously by VPNing into our system, but it also allows you to have concurrent access for multiple employees. So anybody in your offices all have access to the system. We can have as many people accessed at the same time as you would need. And again, new content in those videos are being added regularly. So we're always trying to update and come up with new things for the system for you. How are we doing this? Okay, so that's the big thing. Everybody knows, okay, this looks great, but how are you getting this information and how is it working? So we take standard depositor share and loan files to create this. They are standardized sets of data that we will help you or your IT team come up with. Really easy to find. They are available from all the big data processing systems, so you don't have to worry, well, do you work with this system or that system? All the information's there. We just have to work with your team to pull those extracts. Once you do it, it can be an automated process to send us that data. So the setup takes a little bit of time, but then that's where we're getting it. We also append demographics for you. So we pull things in like age, income, gender, the presence of children, homeowner, or if they rent, the mortgage amount for that home, their home purchase price, available equity in that home, and more. We have hundreds of different demographics we can pull in. That's just a select few that we do, but if you want different things, we can definitely get it in for you. And we can add additional data sources. So if you do your credit cards outside or your mortgages outside or anything you need, we can pull in. All we need to do is be able to tie it back to an identifiable number to that customer or member. The pricing for the system, it depends on a lot of different things. So unfortunately, I can't give out the pricing information, on the webinar right here, but the couple things that are listed there are what it really goes over. So there's an initial setup, programming, license, and training fees. So that's the initial one-time upfront cost to get everything going. There would be a monthly charge, so an ongoing, cost for the system. The data append charge, so all those different demographics we're pulling in, there would be a charge for that. Charge per letter, custom reports. If we're doing different types of campaigns or marketing things or your matrix mailings, there would be cost to do that additionally. If you need things that are custom built and LKCS builds them for you, there would be a charge. You don't need us to build them. You can definitely do them yourself. But I will always say this, that if you come up with an idea that's useful for us, for others, we'll build the report for free. So we will really only charge you for those custom reports if they're really, really specific to you and your institution. But if we could use them elsewhere or share them with somebody else, there isn't any charge for us to kind of do that stuff, because we're always looking to add that new data and make it more worthwhile for other people to use. So to get the actual pricing, go ahead, contact me at the end, or contact your sales rep, here at LKCS, and they'll be able to go over all the details and get you the exact pricing for the system. So with that, I thank you all for joining the webinar today. If there are any questions I can answer, please go ahead and type them into that question toolbar now. Otherwise, I want you guys all have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you next month at our next webinar.